Mr. Anderson. You see that right there? That is the sound of inevitability. My name is Comic Collector. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So this past week, I actually went to a couple of, what do you call them? Like the new Comic Con. Yes, that is right. I went to a sidewalk sale and a comic swap at a beer garden. And I picked up some really sweet books that I wanted to share with you guys here today. You know, sometimes we do the comic book calls here on the comic book YouTube channel. That is a channel about comic books. So I might as well show some books in my collection. But maybe more importantly than just that, I thought it would be interesting to kind of talk about, the sidewalk sale. I feel like the sidewalk sale, while it has always been around, feels like it's getting, bigger and bigger, more and more important. And I couldn't help but notice one of the biggest ironies in my comic buying this past weekend, where there was a entire Comic Con dedicated to comics that I chose to skip. And instead of going to that Comic Con, I went to these other little things. The sidewalk sale that was done by my former LCS and the comic beer garden swap. Beer garden swap? Comic swap. That I thought would be more fun to go to because I knew more people there, and I knew that there was a potential to have even better books there, and I went to that. So in this video, I want to share my books with you guys, talk a little bit about why I picked up what I picked up, and then later on, maybe talk a little bit more about the idea of the comic book con maybe going away, maybe sidewalk sales are the new thing, and then ultimately ask people out there, what if I decided to do a comic swap? Yeah, SwaggleCon. What if I decided to throw in? Like, I got inspired, and I'm thinking, maybe I need to do this. Like, can I put together a comic swap, comic art, get together, group, it'll be fun. Bring your books, drink some drinks, hang out with the boys and girl. I know that there's like 2 of you watching this video right now, but you're invited too. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun event. So maybe we can organize that later on in this video. But of course, before I get into it, if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, I appreciate it. Help support the channel doing those things. But Swag, get into the books. I'm so bored of your long intros. My bad. All right. Well, this past weekend, if you guys remember that video I had where I said my LCS is closing. I had a video that was talking about that where one of my shops recently shut down and they basically said that they're going to take all their stuff online. Well, what they've been doing recently has been having sidewalk sales out of their warehouse. And, they do it kind of like once a month. And they just like open up the garage and they say, hey, everyone come out and here you go. Here's the new Comic Book Con. And those are kind of the best things because a lot of times you can find the best deals because, this is stuff, inventory that is, been sitting in their coffers for however long and they just kind of are ready to like blow it out and move some stuff. And I went to it, had a lot of fun, dug around and picked up some really cool books. Like this one right here. The first one I got is this beautiful copy of X-Men number 50. Now, I know the Mylar is making it look really nice, and that's because it is. This one right here was marked as a VF copy. I got this one for $250. I thought that was a really good price. And yeah, it looks like a good book. It looks like a really good book. Like a little bit of tiny little wear, but honestly, it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. So I was really excited to pick this one up. Obviously, classic Jim Steranko cover. Second appearance of Polaris. First cover appearance of the character. Recently announced that Neve Campbell is going to be playing her. So that could be pretty cool. Maybe we'll see her, in some MCU property down the line. But, gotta love it. Look at the colors. Look at this. No color breaks on that cover. It looks really nice. I might have to get that one graded. We'll see. But for now, it's just going to sit in a dark box, and that'll be the last time I look at it. Next book I got is a really cool one that I've had before, but I never had one this nice. This is actually Brave and the Bold, number 93. Crossover of House of Mystery and Batman. The first time Batman goes into the House of Mystery. Imagine the movie spec potential when they do a Batman House of Mystery cinematic universe. Imagine how crazy this book is going to be. Actually, jokes aside, this is a really, really cool book. I do love, the DC Bronze Horror. Shout out to the DC Bronze horror collectors. I know you're out there. Obviously, big fans of that, and I actually have a whole stack of them I'm going to share with you guys. But this one's cool because you get the superhero factor. You get Batman going in there. Had it marked at $50. I got like 15% off or whatever. And being that this is a really nice copy of this one, a little bit of a corner crease right there, a little bit of a tear. But outside of that, I mean, it's pretty solid overall. This book is always wrecked. It's always hard to find that one. So I've always wanted to have it in my collection. And you know what's another thing about that book? I always find them with the top staple popped. Like, I feel like that was the thing. Let me know in the comments if you guys know something about that. Like, why was that book, like, classic staples would be popped on that? Maybe it's because people actually read it. Crazy. All right, next book I got here is a whole slew of Bronze Age horror. Yes, I found some really solid, nice presenting copies of Bronze Age horror, which is literally impossible to find high-grade copies of Bronze Age horror. But I found them. Somehow I found them in this warehouse sale. All right, this one right here is House of Secrets number 96. Just a really, really cool Bernie Wrightson cover. A lot of this stuff has a tiny little bit of wear. Maybe a couple spine ticks. Little bit of a color break up there, but outside of that, I mean, it's really nice. I mean, you have to like work on these books for sure, but I felt like the LCS pulled out, you know, a bunch of Bronze Age horror DC stuff, and I was like, listen, I'm buying up all that high grade stuff because I know the fever that is out there for this stuff. Still people getting this stuff. It's kind of cyclical, you know, because what ends up happening is you get to around Halloween time, and that's when people start to do their sales, start to like talk about it again. Everybody's going for it. And so now's the time to buy it. Summertime is all about hunting for horror books. Let it be known. Same with PCH. It kind of works like that too. Obviously marked at $40. I bought everything as like kind of like a whole set, so it was obviously marked down. But a lot of this stuff is, you know, I would consider grading some of it. I mean, we'll definitely see. This one right here, another cool House of Secrets book, House of Secrets 99. This one is not a Wrightson cover. This is a Kaluta cover, but really cool, you know, fun kind of reflection thing. This one was a little bit cheaper, $25, but not as much of a key, or not as known as a key. But again, a really nice presenting version of this book. And again, I much prefer picking up the Wrightson stuff because I feel like obviously people want the bigger name artist. Not that Kaluta is not a big name artist, but you know, let's face the facts. Wrightson is just more popular, which is why I got this one right here. House of Secrets number 100, another kind of classic Wrightson cover. Also, this one was 40. Again, a little bit of a breakup there, but outside of that, 2 spine ticks. I don't know. It's pretty solid. Like, you know, if you worked on this stuff, I think if you worked on it, gave it a little bit of the spit shine, press, clean, cover whiten, they could be, you know, pretty good. And then the last one I got, which is a House of Secrets book, is this one right here. House of Secrets number 102. This one, is this a Wrightson cover? I don't think this is not a Wrightson cover, but it was a high grade version of this book. So I figured, hey, $20 plus the discount, not bad, probably worth grabbing it. Again, a couple little spine ticks, a little bit of some breaks here and there, but you know, cool books regardless. But you know, the early House of Secrets, House of Mystery, DC horror stuff, people love them. I've made my videos about them. People got mad at me for talking about it, but you know, listen. I think that they're cool. I like buying them. They're awesome books. They're really, really fun. And it is fun to find them in high grade or nice presenting copies of them. I don't think it's impossible, but yeah, getting a 9.8 of anything is very difficult. That is 100% true. But always cool to come across those books and very much enjoy them. And then, you know, when Halloween rolls around, everybody wants them and that whole thing. All right, moving on to the last 2 books I picked up. This was an interesting one. I've actually never owned this book. Can you believe it? But this book I picked up is G.I. Joe Real American Hero number 21, first appearance of Storm Shadow. This is the classic silent issue with Snake Eyes. But the cool part about this is right there, newsstand copy. Check that out. Newsstand, you like a lot of things we've talked about with the newsstands, even though this is 1983, technically it was probably the same amount of newsstands, but it does turn out to be the case that anecdotally people still wreck the newsstands more. Again, we'll never know. It's not a perfect system, but generally speaking, that it does prove out to be the case when you look at the census and you look at like people getting certain grades of certain types of books. So the newsstands tend to be a little bit more of a premium. Got this one for $80 plus discount. So I don't know. It's pretty good. Again, with a press and clean, I think I could squeeze like a 9294 out of this. So pretty cool to get that one. A book I've never had. I got to flip through it. There's no words. I'll read that comic all day. No words? Man, it's great. All right, and the last book I picked up was just another copy. Every time I find this one, I'm always drawn to it, and that is Daredevil 131. First appearance of Bullseye. Classic book right there. What do you guys think? You guys like the Daredevil show? I like this book. This is one that it took a long time for this one to get corrected with like the comic crash of 2023, but it's finally capitulated there. Like it's finally down. It was holding up for a long time, but it is now down in the dumps, just like every other book. But that's okay because they're still fun to own. They're still fun to collect. So there you have it, guys. That was my pickups at the warehouse sale that my previous LCS had. And it was a lot of fun. I wanted to just quickly show you guys, just for more context. Again, my LCS closed, and then they just do this thing where you go to the warehouse, they pull out some pop-up tables, some pop-up tents, throw some boxes down there, a few keys, dig around, 50 books for whatever it is, $25, like fill a short box type of thing. And I feel like these types of sales, these types of events are becoming more and more popular because they're kind of like the new comic book con. Like it truly is that. Like again, and then later on that day, I went to this beer swap. Shout out to A1's Comics. Go give him a follow. We went to the beer garden. He had like this whole table set up where all the dealers came out and set up their bins, and everyone was drinking and looking at books and hanging out. And it was a good time. It was a good time to just kick it, with people and look at some books and all that. And it's hilarious to me because this beer garden thing was like literally across the street from Ontario Comic-Con Revolution. And everybody was like, oh, Swag, are you going to go to this Comic-Con? Are you going to go? And I'm like, what? Like, listen, no disrespect. I've always had great times at Comic-Con Revolution. It's always a fun time. But when they were like, oh, are you going to go to it? I was like, I don't know. And the reason for that is because it's like, why would I buy a ticket, pay for parking? And I'm lucky because I could get a press pass ticket for my YouTube channel. But in theory, why would I buy a ticket, pay for parking, to then go look at books that I don't know if I'm going to find a deal? And no disrespect to like the dealers that are set up there. I've bought from all of them all the time and they're great guys. But like, it's like, what are the chances that I'm going to be able to find a $200 VF copy of the Steranko Polaris book at this con? It's like, I don't think that they're that high. So to me, like the real cons these days are like these kind of, thrifty warehouse things. And I feel like we're going to get more and more of them. Like I almost wonder if a lot of LCSs are going to go to this model in general. Like obviously, there's always going to be an LCS, but like that LCS there is like, hey, maybe it makes more sense for them to have low operating costs, low overhead, and just once a month open up the shop in the warehouse, blow some stuff out, and then meanwhile list online, as that's what they do now. Like that's their entire business model. And they've kind of like gotten rid of, all their modern comics and stuff. So it's just, I think it's probably just de-risking. It's not that you can't make money being an LCS, like doing new comics and all that stuff. It's just probably just a lot easier, a lot safer to do it this way. And you just have to wonder if like more and more people are going to start to do these types of pop-up events and things like that. And maybe that's the best way to do it. Maybe that's the best way for both the sellers to, bring out their inventory, for the people to run it. And then it's the best thing for the buyers because they're getting the best deals there because the overhead is so low. So I don't know, really interesting stuff, which brings me to the idea of what if I did that? If I decided to throw, we're not going to name it SwaggleCon, Okay, we're not going to name a stupid name like that, but we're going to come up with a cool name. But it would be some kind of event, a get-together, where we have all the best and brightest, the people that have gotten to this point in the video, that have waited this long. I want you at the event. What if I threw one? It'll be fun. Like, what if we had comic art? Bring your comic art. Bring the best stuff, the best books. We'll have like the best drinks, the best time. We'll get like a DJ or something. What's cool? We'll get like, I don't know, jugglers. Like people who like do stuff. We'll get like a flamethrower guy. It'll just be a show. We'll do a whole thing. And maybe it could just be like an event that we have, get together. The Illuminati of comic book beer drinkers and traders. I think it'd be fun. Let me know if you guys think that would be cool, if you actually attend that, if you guys would be down to do that. I mean, I don't know. Go to my website. Sign up for my newsletter thing, because maybe I will organize something. SwaggleComics.com, and you can like sign up for my little newsletter, and then I'll start doing a newsletter, because I'm like really motivated about this. I'm like, this will be cool. This will be fun. I just want to get together. I just want to hang out, and trade the books and buy all your stuff at 60% value. I'm just kidding. I just want to hang. All right, that's all I got. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about this kind of new Comic-Con thing? Do you guys think that that's where it's going? There was that one viral video that came out the other day about why Comic-Cons are dying. I thought that was definitely a YouTube clickbaity thing, and I didn't agree with everything that he had to say, but clearly it resonated with certain people. I think Comic-Cons are different. They're no longer the thing that you go to buy comic books, especially not like vintage comic books to get the best deals. They're there for the social aspect, the marketing of whatever, things, the event. It's just there for like the experience, and then maybe to get like a new comic book or a new variant or whatever. But I think things like this, the trade, the beer garden, the whatever you want to call it, the swaps, and also these sidewalk warehouse sales, I think this is the new way to get the best deals on buying vintage comic books. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys had a wonderful week. Hope you guys have a great long Memorial Day weekend. And I'll see you in the next video.